What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, glad to have you. My name is Ben. I break down film and TV trends as well as discuss the film and TV business. And today I want to talk about The Penguin and why it makes me so happy and why it should make you happy too, especially if you love DC. And if you make it to the end of this video and you enjoyed it, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. I put out new videos every week detailing different aspects of the entertainment business, and I'm really trying to break 200, so if you could help me out with that, that'd be great. The Penguin is doing phenomenal numbers, raking in millions of viewers, as well as doing extremely well with critics and audiences. It's literally the best show on TV right now, in my opinion. That's not saying much. I think we're kind of in a little TV drought, but I've not seen a lot of people say bad things about this TV show, so that's how good it is. And what makes me really happy is this bodes well not just for DC and DC Studios and comic book movies and shows as a whole, but it specifically benefits all Elseworld projects. If you don't know what Elseworld projects are, essentially they're going to be anything that comes out of DC Studios that is not connected directly to the DCU. It's not a part of the connected universe. For instance, James Gunn mentions Matt Reeves' Batman and Harley Quinn, and for instance, the Penguin. To fully understand what this means for Elseworlds, let's take us back to February of 2023. When James Gunn had the big Gods and Monsters announcements detailing the future of DC.
This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now this, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter.
I sometimes rewatch that announcement when I'm feeling like bored or sad. It's really great to see a filmmaker be genuinely excited about the films that they're making, the stories that they're making. Like, I've been on a few movies where people are not that happy about what they're doing, so it just really warms my heart to see someone who's that excited to bring a story to someone. So I'm fanboying a little bit too much about this. Let's get back to the announcement. So we had the announcement, and reflecting, we can look back at the first minute and a half, and it was all roughly a lie. For instance, he detailed how Shazam will now be in the DCU.
First, we have Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well.
Which now, I don't know about that. He also detailed how The Flash and Aquaman 2 would be in the DCU, which all that turned out to be false.
That moves directly into The Flash, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects.
And all of that was a lie. Like, those versions of those characters are never coming back. And look, I get it. From a business perspective, I fully understand why James Gunn was shilling one of the greatest superhero movies we've ever seen, which was The Flash. And like, I get it. You don't want to tell audiences like, hey, none of this matters. There's no reason to go see these movies that we spent like $1 billion making collectively. So I get it. I get why he was shilling it so hard. It's probably a rough decision to be in, being a head of a studio and having movies come out that you had no part of and you probably don't actually enjoy. That's rough. Anyways, and sure, technically, maybe he is right, like The Flash reset everything, right, with the Flashpoint narrative, but he made it seem like those versions of those characters will live on, but they did so bad, they did so horribly. Like, I kind of have full confidence that we will never see at least that Flash and that Aquaman ever again. I definitely have full confidence that we'll never see Shazam again, and Blue Beetle is up in the air right now. I do have faith that Blue Beetle will live on, but we'll see. And sure, maybe if it did bonkers money or did really well at the box office, yeah, maybe we would see those characters, so it wasn't a lie when he stated it, but as of now, it is a lie. And all those lies made me very nervous about all the talks about the Elseworld projects that he mentioned. And funny enough, he did reference Todd Phillips' Joker in that announcement. He did state that they are a part of DC Studios, but not DCU.
And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity.
But once Joker 2 bombed so bad, he quickly said, yeah, it's not a part of DC Studios. He clearly didn't have anything to do with that movie, and he was very clearly upset with it, and I'm sure Todd Phillips had final cut. But it's just so funny to see like corporations be like, yeah, it's totally a part of something, and then when it does badly, they're like, yeah, it's not a part of us whatsoever. I don't know what you're talking about. So I was really nervous that these Elseworld projects that they mentioned and that like the potential of Elseworld would not live on, because you can't really trust his first announcement anymore. But after the success of The Penguin, both critically and audience-wise, It shows that these Elseworld projects can really thrive, and they don't need to be connected to the DCU to really thrive. And it makes me excited because one of my favorite parts about the film and TV side of DC was that it was all not connected. It was not like the MCU, it was not trying to be the MCU, and while I do like the MCU, I do like the connectivity of it, I do like the continuity of it, I do love that a lot of the DC projects were not all connected, and you didn't need to follow everything, and it didn't need to match one tone. You could have a lot of different projects, especially in the animated verse that they were in, creating all the animated movies or the animated TV shows. So it was really great, and it was all really creative. Because I love seeing all these different adaptations of these characters, all these different takes on these characters, it actually reminds me of how actual comics work. If you look at like comic history, a lot of the really popular comics and a lot of the really critically acclaimed comics are not connected to like a connected universe at all. Like for instance, the Dark Knight Returns, right? That is not connected at all. That is just a one-off story, and yet that has had so much relevance to Batman, and that has had so much inspiration for Batman, especially in different film and TV projects. And those can be made because they are not connected to anything. Also similar to, you know, Batman the White Knight. That's just a one-off. It's just a really cool adaptation of what if Joker, you know, kind of became an attorney. Like, it's a really interesting story. Or, you know, I haven't read Absolute Batman yet, but I know it's like a brand new universe, but it's really cool that they can make these swings without being connected to an overall main storyline continuity. And that's what I really loved about like the film and TV aspect of DC, whether it be in the live action sphere with like the Arrowverse, or even like Swamp Thing, or even Titans, or especially in the animated shows. I really loved Young Justice, and I really loved Teen Titans. I didn't really get into Teen Titans Go, but nevertheless, I did enjoy that they were able to just take these big swings because they weren't connected to everything. And yes, it was not all great. I'm not arguing that it was all great. But in the landscape, there at least was an opportunity to creatively try out different things, to try out different takes, and not having to worry about the overall continuity of the entire DC slate, both in film and TV, which is something Marvel can't do. But now with everything connected, they can't take a lot of those big creative swings anymore. But Elseworlds was supposed to be a place where they can take creative leaps without having to worry about an overall connected universe. And I've been worried because we haven't heard much of these Elseworld projects since the announcement of DC Studios. Yes, we had the season of Harley Quinn come out, which was still good. I love Harley Quinn. And that had a spin-off titled Kite Man, which Kite Man, that's my boy. I love that dude. I feel like I'm the only one who loves that guy. I've seen nothing online about like people loving this show, and I haven't seen any numbers come out about how well this show did, so I feel like it didn't do well. But you know, check it out if you are curious about it. It's hilarious. It continues Kite Man's storyline. It continues Bane, which I'm a huge Bane fan from Harley Quinn. He's so fucking like such a goober. I love it. And we had a new animated movie coming out about Jason Todd and Dick Grayson. Those are two of my favorite characters from a company called Swaybox, and they have a very interesting creative team. I'm very excited to see where they go with that. And that's about all of the Elseworld projects that have been like coming out or have been announced. There's only been one technical project that's new that's been announced. The rest were already previously announced and were already in the works. But now that the Penguin has done so well, they're going to have to be forced to re-look at all Elseworld projects. The Penguin is the first project since this DCU announcement that has really taken off and really thrived. Like, yes, Harley Quinn did well before this, but it has not done the numbers that Penguin has done at this time, and I don't think it has like the cultural relevance that the Penguin has at this time. No shade to Harley Quinn, I'm a huge fan of it, but the Penguin's success, you can't really ignore it anymore. The Penguin's proven that it doesn't all have to be connected. These projects can still not be connected to an overall greater universe and still thrive. And we'll see if that still continues once the actual DCU starts, you know, once Superman Legacy gets going, once Lanterns gets going, once Supergirl gets going. But as of right now, the Elseworld projects have really shown that they can thrive. Now, the real test of all Elseworld projects will be something that is coming out that is brand new, that is not at all connected to the past before DCU made this announcement and before they made this new trek into a connected universe. Like, the Penguin was connected to the Batman, Harley Quinn was already a few seasons deep, Kite Man was a spin-off of Harley Quinn and it was already successful. So Elseworlds is probably fine right now, but the true test will be when a brand new project comes out. And the Penguin is kind of hurting a brand new project's chance, technically. Like, the Penguin came out fucking swinging, and anything that comes out after it will be unfairly compared to the Penguin. But for now, Elseworlds is thriving, and it shows no signs of being completely dismantled, and we hopefully will still have a space available for these different takes on these DC characters without having to worry about the overall continuity of a large connected universe. And that's why Penguin's success makes me so happy. But what do you think? Do you think that we'll still continue to get these Elseworld projects? And if so, are you excited to see any more of them come out? Are you excited to like just theorize what ones are going to come out? Or do you think that this is a one-off and Elseworlds is kind of a lie, and once these projects die off, we won't get any more of them and they're going to rely on a more connected universe similar to the MCU? Let me know in the comments. And if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I know there's a whole shit ton of YouTubers out there and you're taking your time on a small little person like me. So thank you so much. And if you want more, please like, please comment, please subscribe. I put out a brand new video every week detailing the film and TV business, film and TV trends, and what I'm generally kind of worried about from the film and entertainment business. So if you subscribe, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.